Wow. There's so many technologies that have promised to take us into a world where everything is democratized. Unlike any other one, artificial intelligence can be very dangerous if unchecked. But what is this technology? What is artificial intelligence? It is really come together because of big data and cloud computing. I figured we should all be able to learn something about this before as we keep learning more and more about artificial intelligence. So at its core, it's mathematics, and you don't have to do any of the math. It's basic equation, linear algebra, and Python. And lucky for us, the computer is doing most of it. But what is this technology and what does it promise us? I think that at its core, it's promising to remove subjectivity from decision making. And that is what is possible with this technology. But I like to compare it to raising a child. I'm not a dad, but I think it's the simplest way to contextualize the problem. Often when you're getting ready to put a child into the world, you don't know how this child is going to come out. Is it going to be Hitler? Is it going to be Mother Teresa? And as a parent, you're stuck with this conundrum. You're saying, oh my God, what are the things I can put in place to make this child better? But in artificial intelligence, we're lucky. We have some controlled parameters. So we've got supervised learning, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. Supervised learning, you can imagine it's like back in the day, you take your child out, you say, hey, look at the world. Here's a tree. You can't eat that. Eat that. And then when they go back out, you expect them to be able to know that outcome, like, okay, I can't eat that. So that's supervised learning. And then you've got unsupervised, which is perfect for basically clustering problems. And that's an example where you just put the child in the playground, you say, play with everything, and then they play, and they kind of end up organizing things in the way that they want. And this is an unsupervised learning environment for the machine. And reinforcement learning can be basically perfect for training robots. It's a way, you say, hey, you can say this in class and you can't say this in class, for example. And then when the kid gets the answer right, you're like, yes, that's reinforcement learning. So as we start to think about this idea that we're replicating humans, we're replicating ourselves into a world where we might be able to either have positive aspects of who we are or not. In so many ways, I think the fear is real. We have this child in our lives already. If you have had to deal with any streaming service or even your text messages that come from your bank, from fraudulent activities, all of those processes are using machine learning techniques. But there's challenges with this. Just like a child watching Netflix only, they can be trained to have biases, and I'm sure we are very aware of these biases. And this could lead to unforeseen consequences. And just like this child, we want to hope that we can guide them a little better. So here are my thoughts on how we might be able to steer this technology to help us skill our best parts. So first, you have to clean the data. I think that the big fear of all the implicit biases with all the data that we've put on the internet, it doesn't necessarily capture the best of who we are. I think that is our biggest fear. We're like, no, we are not the problem. But in so many ways, our history, the data, it shows we kind of, the computer might conclude that we are the problem. But first, I think it's very important to ask this question. Is machine learning the ethical solution for your problem? Just like I think most parents should also ask, should I bring a child into this world? The reason for that question is that I think it allows us to really consider again whether it's important it's important for us to share how this child is raised and what we teach them, and also guide them to bring what they want to offer the world. So, oh yeah, it's not Terminator, sorry. So, as I was saying, it's very easy for us to conclude that humans are the problem with the basic infrastructure with what's in the internet today. But what if we decided to put our aspirational selves and train these models to understand for what we want to be? What if we can set it up to understand that, yes, we might not be perfect today, but the outputs that we want to see in the future are more fairness, more equity. I think that grounds us for something very interesting when we think about artificial intelligence and the models that we have. Again, once we are able to train and clean up the data and really answer the question about the ethics of what we're trying to deploy, as they say in development terms, you can then start to train and evaluate this models to imbibe the best parts of who we are, like this child, and hopefully scale our best parts. The second thing is to realize that unlike this possible future here, I think that we have the potential to really, if we steward AI, we actually can get here. Thank you.